All right, so we're diving into some pretty intense weather today.
Yeah, Cyclone Dana?
A serious storm that's predicted to hit the coasts of
Odisha.
and West Bengal
Yeah.
in India on October 24th and 25th.
That's right. And to really break this down, we've got this live blog-style news article from the Hindustan Times
Published.
just a couple days ago on October 22nd.
Wow, so it's really up to the minute.
Yeah, it's packed with updates. So you can think of this deep dive as a shortcut.
Yeah, a shortcut to understanding what's happening with this cyclone.
Exactly.
I mean, it's pretty incredible they're capturing the cyclone's development, the government's response.
Yeah,
And-
we're going to how people are reacting.
Yeah, all in real time.
It's pretty amazing.
So let's talk about what makes Cyclone Dana so concerning.
Well, the Bay of Bengal is kind of brewing up a perfect storm right now.
Okay, so can you break down the science for me a little bit?
Sure.
What's happening in the Bay of Bengal that's making this cyclone so powerful?
So it all starts with a low pressure area.
Okay.
But the IMD,
That's the Indian Meteorological Department.
yeah, that's right. They're predicting that this one will intensify really rapidly.
And because with
Full-blown cyclone today.
today, October 23rd,
Yeah.
and not just any cyclone.
Yeah.
This is a severe cyclonic storm
Right.
with winds potentially reaching over 100 kilometers per hour.
At least.
Strong enough to cause,
Serious damage.
uproot trees and cause some serious structural damage.
Yeah, those wind speeds combined with the storm surge.
Oh, right, the wall of water.
Yeah, that huge wall of water pushed ashore by the cyclone's winds could be really devastating
Especially
for
for,
coastal communities.
yeah, this all sounds pretty alarming, but it seems like India isn't taking this threat lightly.
Oh, absolutely not. Both Odisha and West Bengal are taking proactive steps to prepare.
Yeah.
Odisha, under Chief Minister Mohan Taran Maji, has set an ambitious goal of zero casualty.
Zero casualty. That's a pretty big goal.
It is a big goal, and it's rooted in a long and difficult history with cyclones.
Yeah, right. The devastating 1999 super cyclone.
Exactly, which claimed over 10,000 lives in Odisha alone.
That's a stark reminder of what's at stake here.
Yeah, it is.
So how is Odisha trying to achieve this zero casualty goal?
Well, they've got a multi-pronged approach
Okay.
that involves a robust network of cyclone shelters, early warning systems, and community-based disaster preparedness programs.
Okay, so it's about combining infrastructure with education and community engagement.
Exactly.
It sounds like they're really trying to learn from the past and improve their preparedness for the future.
They are. And a key part of their strategy is their extensive network of cyclone shelters.
Okay.
We've got 800 permanent shelters, and they're preparing another 500 temporary ones.
In places like
schools and colleges.
it's going to be enough to house a pretty significant number of people.
It is a significant number of people.
And they're not taking any chances with tourists either.
No, they're not.
They've asked visitors to leave Puri
Which is a popular pilgrimage town.
by the 24th.
Yeah, they are really kind of going the extra mile by requesting tourists to leave.
Yeah, it shows the level of concern
It does.
they have for everyone's safety.
It really does.
So Odisha is really going all in.
They are. What about West Bengal?
West Bengal is also on high alert. The Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee.
Okay, so what are they doing?
They've set up integrated control rooms to coordinate the response.
Okay.
And they've suspended fishing activities.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, given the rough seas and high winds expected.
I can't even imagine being caught out on a fishing boat during a cyclone.
Yeah, it's incredibly dangerous,
Right.
especially with a storm of this magnitude.
Yeah.
They're also taking steps to protect students.
Okay, how so?
Schools will be closed in 9 districts,
Sure.
the 23rd to the 26th.
Wow.
And some of them will be used as temporary shelters.
So it's like a 2-for-1,
Yeah.
keeping kids safe and expanding shelter capacity.
Exactly.
Any other noteworthy preparations happening in West Bengal?
One thing that really stood out to me was the Sundarbans administration's awareness campaign.
Oh, yeah, the Sundarban. Yeah, this region is known for its unique mangrove forests and diverse wildlife.
A beautiful area.
It is, but it's particularly vulnerable to cyclones and rising sea levels.
Right.
So they're specifically advising pilgrims at the Kaplamuni Temple, Ingasagar, to avoid the seashore, a
Right.
popular spot for religious ceremonies.
Yeah, that makes sense. Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah,
Especially in a fragile ecosystem like the Sundarbans.
absolutely.
And it's not just the coastal areas that need to be concerned, right?
Right.
Cyclone Dana's reach kind of extends far beyond the shoreline.
That's right. The potential impact is far-reaching.
Yeah, we're already seeing disruptions to
Transportation.
over 150 trains
And Southeastern Railway jurisdiction.
have been canceled.
Yeah,
And that number could rise.
it could.
It really brings home the scale of this event when you think about those cascading effects.
It does.
Like canceled trains and disrupted travel plans.
Absolutely. It's not just a localized event. It's impacting the lives of people across a wide area.
Yeah.
And heavy rainfall is predicted not just in the coastal regions, also in states further inland. Mizoram, Assam, Meghalaya,
Wow.
Jharkhand, Tripura, Nagaland,
That's a lot of states.
Manipur, and even Andhra Pradesh.
So this is going to be a widespread weather event affecting a significant portion of the country.
Yeah, a significant portion.
Are there any other examples that really highlight the scale and potential impact of Cyclone Dana?
Well, even major national events are being impacted.
Like what?
President Draupadi Murmu's visit to Odisha has been postponed.
Wow.
And sporting events like the National Junior Athletics Championships, which were scheduled to be held in Kalinga Stadium,
Have been.
on hold.
It's incredible how this cyclone is impacting everything,
It is.
from daily commutes to presidential visits.
And major sporting events.
It really paints a picture of a nation bracing for a significant weather event,
It does. And amidst all of this, it's essential to remember the human stories.
right? These aren't just statistics.
No, they're not.
These are real people. Real people.
Whose lives are being directly affected.
Absolutely.
Did any particular stories stand out to you from the Hindustan Times article?
You know, one story that really caught my attention was about villagers living near Bhitarkanika National Park
Okay.
in Odisha.
Okay.
They're relying on the mangrove forest cover to act as a natural barrier against the cyclone's fury.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I've heard that mangrove forests can help reduce the impact of storms and erosion.
They can.
But to hear about people actively relying on them for protection,
Yeah.
that's really powerful.
It's a testament to the importance of these ecosystems, not just for biodiversity, but also for coastal protection.
Yeah, and it connects back to the 1999 super cyclone.
Right.
Villages surrounded by healthy mangrove forests.
They fared much better.
Than those that had lost their mangrove buffers.
Absolutely.
That's a powerful example of the role that nature can play in protecting us from the forces of nature.
It is.
But it's not all about resilience and hope.
No, it's not.
There are also signs of fear and uncertainty. Of course, there are reports of panic buying of vegetables and Odisha.
Leading to a surge in prices.
Yeah, people are understandably worried about
Potential shortages.
Yeah, it's a natural human response to stock up
It is.
when a major storm is approaching.
It highlights the very real anxiety and disruption these events can cause.
It does, and it also underscores the importance of a coordinated and well-prepared response from the government and various agencies.
Right, which is exactly what we're seeing.
So it's not just about individual preparedness.
No, it's not.
It's also about a collective effort to minimize the impact and protect lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the level of coordination is truly impressive.
Yeah, give me some examples.
Well, the Indian Coast Guard is on high alert.
Right.
Vessels and aircraft ready to respond to emergencies.
Okay.
The Odisha Disaster Rapid Action Force, or ODRF,
Okay.
is already deployed in Cuttack, a major city in Odisha.
Okay.
And National Disaster Response Force, or NDRF, teams are on standby across vulnerable districts.
Both Odisha and West Bengal.
Wow, so it's a multi-agency effort.
It is.
Involving everyone from the Coast Guard to disaster relief teams, all working together to ensure a swift and effective response.
That's right. And that kind of coordinated effort is crucial in a situation like this.
It is effective. Disaster preparedness and response really hinges on seamless coordination between various agencies and levels of government.
Yeah, it's about getting resources where they need to be before the storm hits.
Right.
And being ready to act decisively when it does.
This has been a really informative overview of the situation so far.
Yeah, it has.
I mean, we've covered a lot of ground from the meteorological factors driving Cyclone Dana
Right.
to the extensive preparations being made to protect lives and property.
Absolutely.
But there's still so much more to discuss.
There is.
I mean, we haven't even delved into the potential long-term impacts, both economic and environmental.
Right, and there's also the question of how climate change is contributing to the intensity and frequency of these events.
That's a big one.
It is, and we'll delve into all of that and more in the next part of our deep dive.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break to continue our exploration of Cyclone Dana and its implications.
We'll be right back.
You know, it's incredible to think that while we're sitting here talking about Cyclone Dana, it's actually churning its way towards the coast of India.
It really is a sobering reminder that these events aren't just headlines.
Yeah.
They have real-world consequences.
There's millions of people.
For millions of people.
And this Hindustan Times article does a fantastic job of capturing both the big picture and the human side.
Yeah, it's those personal stories that really bring it home, don't they?
Yeah, they do, like the villagers relying on those mangrove forests.
Right.
Or the families stocking up on supplies, not knowing what the next few days will bring.
Exactly. It's like we're getting a glimpse into the lives of people facing this incredible force of nature.
Yeah, and what strikes me is the resilience that these communities have shown.
Time and time again.
Time and time again, we talked about the devastating 1999 super cyclone earlier.
Right.
It's hard to imagine the impact that had on Odisha, but they clearly learned some hard lessons.
They did. Odisha's disaster preparedness has come a long way since then.
Okay.
Their zero casualty goal, while ambitious, reflects a deep commitment to protecting their people.
So they've invested in cyclone shelters,
Yeah.
early warning systems, and community education programs.
Right. It's a reminder that we can learn from past disasters and take steps to mitigate future risks.
But it's also important to acknowledge that climate change is making these challenges even greater.
It is.
So you're saying cyclones like Dana are becoming more frequent and intense?
Exactly. Warmer ocean temperatures provide more energy for these storms, leading to more rapid intensification and stronger winds.
So it's not just about preparing for the storms we've seen before.
Ooh.
It's about anticipating even more powerful events in the future.
Right, and that raises some critical questions. How do we adapt to a future where these extreme weather events become the new normal?
Yeah.
How do we build more resilient communities and infrastructure? How do we address the underlying causes of climate change?
These are questions that need to be addressed on a global scale.
Absolutely. The impacts of climate change are felt far beyond the immediate disaster zone.
Right.
Think about the economic consequences.
Okay.
Cyclone Dana is already disrupting transportation and trade.
Yeah.
It could have long-term effects on industries like fishing and agriculture,
Which are,
vital to the livelihoods of millions of people.
and let's not forget, the potential environmental damage.
Oh, right. Coastal ecosystems like the Sundarbans are already vulnerable, rising sea levels and storm surges.
Right. A cyclone of this magnitude could cause.
Widespread habitat loss and damage to these delicate ecosystems.
It's a reminder that we're all interconnected.
We are.
What happens in the Bay of Bengal has implications for the entire planet.
It does.
So while the immediate focus is rightly on saving lives and minimizing damage from Cyclone Dana, we can't lose sight of the bigger picture.
We need to be thinking about long-term solutions, sustainable development, and building a future where we can coexist with these powerful forces of nature
Without
suffering such devastating consequences.
And while this is a serious situation, there's also a sense of hope
Oh, definitely.
in this Hindustan Times article.
You see it in the coordinated response.
Okay.
The dedication of disaster relief teams and the resilience of the people facing this challenge head on.
There's a sense of collective determination to weather this storm, both literally and figuratively.
It's a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, human ingenuity and compassion can shine through.
And the article's packed with details about the preparations.
It is.
We hear about cyclone shelters being prepped, evacuation plans being put into action, awareness campaigns spreading the word,
Right.
and disaster relief teams on standby.
It's almost like a masterclass in cyclone preparedness.
And it's working.
It is.
Odisha's track record since the 1999 super cyclone shows that these measures can save lives.
They do. It's a testament to the power of learning from past experiences and putting that knowledge into action.
And it's not just the government.
No, it's not.
Local communities are drawing on their own traditions and knowledge to prepare.
We talked about those villagers near Bhitarkanika National Park relying on the mangrove forests for protection.
Right.
That's a perfect example of local knowledge being combined with modern disaster preparedness strategies.
It's a reminder that resilience is built not just on infrastructure, but also on community knowledge and collective action.
And that's something we can all learn from no matter where we live in the world.
Because in the end, we're all facing the challenges of a changing climate.
We are. We all have a role to play in building a more resilient future.
So as we move toward the conclusion of our deep dive, I want to bring it back to our listener.
Okay.
What's the key takeaway from all of this? What should they be reflecting on?
I think the biggest takeaway is that preparedness matters.
Okay.
We can't prevent these events, but we can take steps to minimize their impact.
And that preparedness involves everything from investing in infrastructure to educating ourselves and our communities about the risks.
It's about understanding the power of nature,
Okay.
respecting its limits, and finding ways to coexist sustainably.
We've explored the science behind Cyclone Dana, the human stories of those affected, and the incredible efforts being made to protect lives and livelihoods.
We have.
But there's one final piece of the puzzle we need to address.
And that's the role of climate change.
We've touched on it throughout our discussion, but it's worth diving a bit deeper.
Cyclone Dana isn't just a freak event.
Okay.
It's part of a larger pattern of increasingly frequent and intense cyclones.
And that pattern is driven, at least in part, by climate change.
It is warmer ocean temperatures, rising sea levels, and changing weather patterns are all contributing to the growing threat of these powerful storms.
So what does this mean for the future?
It means we need to be thinking about climate change not just as an environmental issue, as a matter of human security and well-being.
It means we need to be investing in renewable energy, reducing our carbon footprint, and supporting policies that address the root causes of climate change.
Because if we don't act now, we're only going to see more events like Cyclone Dana in the years to come.
And those events will have increasingly devastating consequences.
But it's not all doom and gloom.
Okay.
We've also seen the power of human ingenuity and resilience in the face of these challenges.
The response to Cyclone Dana shows that we can come together.
We can.
To prepare, to adapt, and to protect one another.
It's a reminder that we're not powerless in the face of these threats.
We have the knowledge, the technology, and the collective will to create a more sustainable and resilient future.
And that's a message of hope that I want to leave our listener with.
Because ultimately, this isn't just about surviving cyclones.
Yeah.
It's about thriving in a changing world. You know, it's striking how this Hindustan Times article doesn't shy away from the human cost of these cyclones.
No, it doesn't. There's a passage that really got to me. It talks about the emotional toll on families forced to evacuate their homes, leaving behind their belongings and facing an uncertain future.
It's so easy to get caught up in the numbers. You know,
Right.
Wind speeds, rainfall totals, economic losses.
Yeah.
But ultimately, this is about
People's lives.
people's lives being disrupted, their sense of security shaken.
And it's often the most vulnerable communities who bear the brunt of these impacts.
Those who might not have access to
Sturdy housing or reliable transportation.
or even enough resources to stock up on essentials.
Exactly. The article mentions fishing communities
Oh, right.
along the coast who are particularly at risk. Their livelihoods depend on the sea.
Which is also the source of the danger.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder that climate change
Really.
exacerbates existing inequalities.
And it really underscores the need for targeted support and resources for these communities.
It does.
But amidst the challenges, there are also
Glimmers of hope.
glimmers of hope. Yeah, the article highlights the incredible work of disaster relief organizations.
Like the NDRF,
Yeah.
who are risking their own safety to help others.
And the stories of ordinary people stepping up to help their neighbors.
Yeah.
Sharing food, providing shelter, and offering comfort.
Yeah. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, human compassion and resilience can shine through.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Cyclone Dana, what's the one message you want our listener to walk away with?
I think it's this. While cyclones are powerful forces of nature, we're not powerless in the face of them.
We can prepare, we can adapt,
We can.
and we can work together to build a more resilient future.
Absolutely. And we can all play a part no matter how small.
Whether it's supporting disaster relief efforts, reducing our own carbon footprint, or advocating for policies that address climate change.
Every action counts.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah.
From the meteorological science to the human impact to the larger context of climate change.
We have, and we've seen that while Cyclone Dana presents a serious challenge,
It also offers
an opportunity,
an opportunity for reflection and action.
a chance to learn from the past, prepare for the future, and build a world where we can weather any storm together.
And as this cyclone makes landfall, our thoughts are with the people of Odisha and West Bengal.
They are.
We hope for their safety and well-being,
We do.
and we stand in solidarity with them as they face this challenge.
We do.
And to our listener, we encourage you to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay hopeful. We'll see you on our next deep dive.
See you next time.